items B and C are very similar. We have a contract with Mr. Tadaro, who wants to sublease his hangar to two different individuals, and the reason is both of them are members of the military, so they have very different schedules. So part of the year, one individual wants to sublease the hangar, the other part of the year, the other individual wants to sublease it. So what he originally came to us with is he's currently, technically, subleasing to Middleton, and Middleton came and asked if he could sublease his sublease to Brooks. And so we came back to him and said, well, really we need to have two different agreements if you're going to rent it to two different individuals. So this is why we're presenting them as two different items, because both of them have to be approved by the board according to his terms of the lease. So we don't see any reason to not recommend doing a sublease agreement with these individuals. So we do ask your approval of the sublease agreements.
So under this scenario, they'll both be simultaneously subleasing.
Correct. And just occupying the hangar at different times of the year.
Is there any public comment on this matter? There being none, the chair will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent to sublease. Both of them.
Okay. Motion by Director Deaver to approve both subleases. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Director Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Move to financial reports.
As you can see, for the bank balance ending May 31st, the account is up $200,000. And as far as the revenue and expenses, we've had a very average month. We do have some expenses that are coming out of the check run today, so they will be increased the next report just due to some projects that are getting finished up. Fuel continues to be high with the F-18s coming in.
You back up one page to the pie and bar charts.
Mm-hmm.
On the right-hand side, can we put revenue and expense underneath the bar charts there like they are on the left-hand side? And a zero at the bottom of the scale, unless that isn't zero, but it looks like it's zero.
And the overall aging, everyone is paying within the 90 days period. We only have one customer that's over the 90 days right now, and as of right now, he has said he sent in a payment.
Right. Refresh my memory on the aged AR line,
That's
which is
overall,
rather large.
Yeah, that's overall all the accounts, so some of that is just because the payments are pending, because this includes the June.
Okay, but we still have 35,000, that's 31 to 60 days, 14,000, that's 61 to 90, but we're only showing 155 above the line.
Yeah.
So those other ones are the people down here below the line?
Exactly.
What is the status on the payment arrangements for FiberSet and REM?
REM has continued to pay their current months. They are behind right now on their paying their back payment, but he has paid his June payment. So
What was the arrangements for back payment?
$1,000 a month for the back.
And we have not been receiving that.
We did receive it for June, and we're missing half of May. But
What
he has paid his full June regular.
So it's $1,500 behind the rear wheel.
Yeah. But his current is staying current.
And FiberSet,
Fiber said it's behind right now. Last check we received was $500, and that was the first payment we received last month. Prior to that was January. It's still paying.
I have a question on the one, the continuous quality, did they used to do work for the district? Does it still do work for the district?
He has it in the bottom.
Okay.
This is running storage space, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying FiberSet, are they current once we made the agreement?
We no longer have a lease agreement with them, so what you see on this form is just their back rent. So the payment arrangements we had made with FiberSet was to pay $1,000 a month until it's paid off.
So they basically do almost any of that for this year.
When we sent to questions.
Is their rent current after we did the
So
negotiation?
they don't rent anything from us anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't have a lease agreement.
They're not on there.
Yeah. So this amount isn't continuing to grow. It was just stagnant.
We're in month 6, so do we send to collections pretty soon?
How big is the total collection?
13,000.
She's no longer retired.
At this point, we have not sent to collections, which we can do so at the direction of the board.
What I would recommend is we can have, one last conversation, and if we can't make some progress within the next month, then I'd recommend that we send the account to collections.
The airport district, Spaceport district, should have a policy on when you send something to collection. They should follow that policy, and when it's sent to collection, it should be adjudicated as whether you're gonna write it off as a bad debt or not, and that should come before the board for approving. We don't do that.
We do have a delinquency policy, but it's not very specific, so this is something that we're kind of reworking into the new version of the admin code.
Mike was supposed to, we had discussed this back when Mike was supposed to be working on a policy for that. To be adopted.
And because this is an older account, the newer ones that have days, they come up to the 90 days, we're definitely taking action as they come back. It's just this one is from the previous.
Very good. All right, CEO report.
Light was, the fog ceiling for 826 has been postponed. So the crews thought the forecast for wind was a little too high last weekend, so they wanted to push it off to July. So we're looking at now July 14th, if for whatever reason the weather becomes an issue, then we've got dates already scheduled for August as a potential backup. But they're still through Thursday to Sunday, so it'll be minimal downtime. And then Director Peterson mentioned, wanted to get a little bit more information on what the U.S. Forest Service will be doing out here. So the issue is Fox Field is currently undergoing some runway maintenance, and the Forest Service needs to have an alternative site. So we have a nice long runway for them to use. John is hopefully here. Yeah, he can discuss a little bit more in terms of what they're looking to do operationally. It's currently going to be set up as a temporary
This is our
agreement.
tank.
Yeah, so it's a temporary agreement for now, unless for whatever reason it becomes much longer term, depending on the timing of Fox Field improvements.
So I'm standing by for further questions, but I'll just briefly explain what's going on. There are two periods. This first time period, which will be from 20 June to 02 July, is their grid testing. They're doing the grid testing here as Director Drees, I'm sorry, he said they're doing that because of the construction of Fox Field. So that's going to be 20 June to 02 July. They're going to have one aircraft here, an MD-87. They're going to set up tanks, which are already set up just west of Virgin Galactic. I'm sorry, Stratolaunch, Virgin Galactic on Bravo Bravo, and it's not going to impede Virgin Galactic at all. It will impede ASB, but we have a plan to mitigate that through calling the tower for taxi movement, aircraft movement, things like that. So it'll be just one aircraft. They should be parking overnight at the South Alpha blast ramp, and there shouldn't be any problems with that. So that's just for the first week time period. Now the second time period potentially starts July 2nd and will run through August 2nd or August 3rd, give or take a day or two. And that's going to be a little bit more involved. That's going to be two aircraft, which should still be their MD-87 and maybe a C-130. So they'll park both aircraft at that time. They'll park both aircraft on Bravo Bravo, and that'll be because they're actually using Mojave Air and Spaceport as their firefighting field. So those are the two time periods.
How are they gonna turn around on Bravo Bravo?
They're gonna. Well, the C-130 can articulate, so they shouldn't have a problem with the C-130. But the aircraft itself, they're going to be able. Can you approach?
I don't see how they're gonna turn around that.
I didn't know what the requirements are. But what they should be able to do, and the Forest Service has already been out here along with the pilots, and they've already looked at the area, and they said they'll be able to swing around and park it back in here. So it'll be kind of like a.
They're gonna be parking at the end of Bravo, not Bravo.
Well, correct, yes, sir.
Bravo gets skinny really quick.
But they will have an aircraft for the second time period. They will have an aircraft parked right here. So that'll take some coordination. We're going to temporarily turn Bravo into a controlled movement area, for lack of a better term, because I know it's not a controlled movement area this time. But for all movements, we'll be coordinating, and Tower will calls will be given to tower for room.
Okay, you know, the tower can't see a good portion of Bravo, right?
I understand that. The tower is basically at this point just a voice decompletion.
They have a pretty clear view of everything, until you get to about here, then it's really hard to see.
And during the calls, we'll just go back to the old grease pencils on plexiglass days, just like moving aircraft on the deck of a carrier. They'll just write down the time, write down the aircraft moving out. Another aircraft or another entity calls up and says they need to move. They check their little, they check their schedule and say.
So they're gonna have tugs down there to move these airplanes in and out?
I do not have the answer to, but they're going to be self-sustaining. They won't need anything from the airport other than space.
They don't go backwards or forwards? See what they're doing. I don't know, it sounds a little odd to me. They laid out this plan, huh?
Yes, sir.
They've got a risk mitigation and a safety plan, all that kind of stuff they presented to the airport?
They have not presented that to me yet.
That would be part of their, before they're allowed to do operation, they'd have to come up with a plan that's then approved by the airport to get accept that or accept that.
On a related issue, is it possible to put a camera down there on the big hangar so the tower can see that section of Bravo?
Unfortunately, no.
For future, why?
Yeah, we had one up there and we were trying to take it down. They don't want it on their
It's a
property.
classified facility.
Oh, but
But we are looking at placing cameras on another building here that provide.
You just have a drone hover over it for 24/7, 365.
Don't we have a portable camera?
We have
We do, yeah, we have some.
We could set a portable camera down there.
Yeah.
I don't know. They asked me, but if it was me, I'd say you take Alpha south to Juliet, and that's where you're parking, because they got a racetrack they can go around and.
Point that out for a moment, please. Alpha South Virginia.
This is
Yeah.
really it.
Right.
They can
That's
park.
what I thought.
They're talking about that for long term, but for right now, this provided the best location that they needed, because what they're actually doing for this 1 week time period is they're actually mixing their fire retardant and they're loading, and this provides the area that they need for fire hydrant access.
They do like this area much better, and that, like John said, that could be even if this turns into a longer term scenario, which we'd love for them to, they really like this whole area to be able to set up shop.
We don't have water down there?
They have to tie in.
Yeah,
There's
it
water.
stops right here-ish, I think.
You've got water and you've got fiber, I mean, they would
Lease
tie in.
goes
Correct
to
me if
the,
I'm wrong,
pond,
like Kevin, about the
Yeah.
fiber tie in South
It's
Alabama.
closed.
So they would have to tie in, so
Closed?
this is really long term. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk.
Go ahead, you have the floor.
So this is really long term, getting into preliminary discussions, but they would like to put a ramp here, building, and their drainage tanks, but that is where they are looking at for long term. That's the way to go.
This is a business that we're kind of, for a long time, hoping to get a piece of, because we think this will be substantial in fuel sales for us,
oh,
given the aircraft.
it's getting to be weird, huh?
Busy right now.
Thank you.
I'm concerned about them having a bad experience at the end of Bravo, there being a big mess, but we'll see.
We have access for the tankers for the false check and all that?
Yes.
To get them around with the
Good. Everything would be set up just off of the end of Bravo here. There's a kind of like a gravel pad, sort of a dilapidated concrete pad. So they've already got their bin set up. The tankers will be set up in the exact same place. And what they'll do is they'll run hoses from the boss bins out to the tanker and to the aircraft. So you'll have people moving back and forth off the taxiway, but it'll all be centrally located right here.
Virgin's happy about this?
They have no comment.
You give me a dirty look every time I come down in a helicopter. That's not near as noisy as those things.
But I've done all the coordination with them, sir, as well as with ASB. Nobody's commented. I actually put Martin in touch with their safety guys, with the Forest Service as well. So
Because they park a lot of small aircraft out of the end there, and the guys fly in, and that's gonna be potentially hazardous too when they get all that jet wash as they're taxiing back out of Bravo.
And I met with them face to face, and right now they don't have any concerns. The first day they're going to go out, they're going to take a look at the operation, and we can flex depending on the needs of everybody actually.
The blow dust all over.
Yeah, but if you extend Bravo, you're still gonna have that issue with Virginia, with the chip blast.
Not, depends what you put down there. Nobody's got a plane that puts out that much jet blast that doesn't get towed out of there.
Sounds good.
All right, that's enough. Thank you.
And then a quick comment, I actually wrote up the CEO report on Friday, kind of to get it out in time for the board packet, so I wrote that NTPS flight test camp will take place next week, it's actually this week, so I just wanted to make sure I highlighted that. Another thing that I just wanted to mention with the board is, our weeds are kind of taking over the airport, we recognize that. We've been really focusing a lot on the infield, but the taxiways and runways, we recognize are in pretty rough shape. So we spray when we can. We have a lot of restrictions on when we can spray due to the winds. So this is an air quality issue. If we spray when it's windy, then a lot of that poison goes off into the desert, and they don't like that very much. So we kind of wait until until we know it's not going to be too windy to do some spraying. But we've got crack sealing scheduled to start first week of July.
Yes, ma'am.
We've already got a crew on hand to start crack sealing. We expect the crack sealing we'll probably go through about twice as much material as we have in previous years because the weeds have gotten really out of control in the cracks. The rainy season that we have this spring and now all the winds, it's become a problem. So I just wanted to let the board know that we certainly recognize that we'll be addressing it here very shortly.
Thank you.
We have no committees report. Are there any director comments?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. John did an excellent job at the Gavia presentation Thursday. It was real good. I gave everybody a good idea of what's going on out there, and I appreciate that. Also, he had a really great Plane Crazy lecture in here with Mr. Glazier. I'll tell you, I wish I'd had teachers like that when I was going to high school and college. He was really good. He had a guy in here who used to fly B-47s down to people flying Cessna 150s. It was just a really interesting program on what to do when your plane starts flying on its own. Not the way you're expecting it to fly. So next month we'll have Mike Nixon from Vintage D-12s in Tehachapi. He's going to talk about German aircraft engines during the big war. Interesting. This guy is the expert.
Thank you. Is there any other director comments?
I attended the KDC dinner last Thursday. It was moved over to JEH Ranch, which is over, if you've ever been to the lake, meeting Hart Park area, Hart Park, it's right across the river. Who owns the ranch? 280 people attended it, which was restricted to home range to about 100, I think, or so. And I'm happy to say Mojave and Spaceport and this director got a mention. Which was nice. Usually we felt we left out of this event, but we did recognize our efforts over here.
I'll be attending KDC board meeting on Thursday. Chapter.
So he was the chamberlain.
Yes, unfortunately, but that's a really great Mexican restaurant in Chapter. Make up for it.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda?
Whoa.
Oh, you didn't raise your hand.
Being polite, waiting for other people to finish.
Well, thank you for being polite. Go ahead.
Today is day 2 of the NTPS flight test camp. 18 kids showed up. Today was the first day of flying, and of the 18, 5 was their first flight ever on the maze. So, always interesting. Had a lot of good support from some sponsors. So, Mission Bank was a key sponsor, Keith and Sons Ford, Mojave Air and Spaceport, Shaw Moses Mendenhall, and our insurance guys, and Stater Brothers. And then next meeting I'll mention all the different organizations that pitched in and helped with the tours and stuff once that's taking place. But good turnout with the kids; they're all excited. A couple of little green coming off the airplane, not too bad. And looks like it's going to be an exciting camp.
I think they're touring our tower right now, actually, as we speak.
Yes.
So as not to make another error, Director Parker, do you have anything?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Now, is there any public comment on items not on the agenda?
Any about the F-16 fuel, F-18 fuel sales that you're doing? What's the deal with that? Are you just getting lucky?
Can you go ahead and answer
So
that?
it's primarily because of runway maintenance at China Lake.
Okay,
So
okay.
if for whatever reason, they've got maintenance going on or the winds are too high up at China Lake, they come here, they do fueling here, and then they continue doing their exercises.
Okay.
So that's a primary
So
reason.
I knew both those places have big fueling stations on both of them, and they're coming in from either Edwards or China, but they both have a lot of fueling of their own. It's good that they're coming here, don't get me wrong, but
Our fuel is just that good.
just
Yeah.
darn
It's
good.
Go
It's
faster,
special.
higher.
It's the Maspa blend.
Last month, you were here, one of the pilots came in, playing crazy and participated in, asking questions and everything.
Yeah, that was actually quite a good lecture, yeah. It was very good, actually.
He was supposed to be here,
I heard fuelers offer a menu while we're filming.
Snickers bar, actually.
Bars and water.
Is there any further public comment? There being none, we'll move into closed session.